Praise God. Today we are discussing peace, which represents the P in JPRC. So what is peace? We usually describe or define peace using what it is not. And that has been the precedence for a long time. So we usually say that peace is the absence of conflict. But what is it really? Not defining it in its negative form. So we can say that peace is freedom from disturbance, quiet, and calm state of mind. It is a state of agreement and harmony between or among a people. So in defining what peace is not, then we are saying that peace is not only the absence of conflict, because you can have no conflict, but you're not having a calm state of mind or harmony among people. So when we talk about peace then, we are talking about a state where you are at peace both with yourself, your community, and those around you. Now, there is both internal and external peace. And we are going to look at 5 levels of peace, starting with the outer level, coming internally to us as individuals. So the first level of peace we are going to talk about is global peace. And when we talk about global peace, we are talking about peace between humans, the earth, and beyond. So we are talking about being in harmony with nature. Issues to do with climate change are coming about because we are not at peace with our environment. The second level of peace is political peace. And when we talk about political peace, we are talking about respect for other nations, justice, tolerance, and cooperation, respecting other nations' boundaries and their autonomy. So here we are looking at issues like the way Ukraine has been invaded, and we are talking about then there not being peace at Ukraine. Then we can talk about social peace, or what we call intergroup peace. And this refers to the respect for other groups within the nation. And you're talking about justice, justice, tolerance, and respect for those who are different from you. So when you talk about social peace, you're looking at, for example, if somebody is from a different religion from you, if somebody is from a different culture from you, do you still have tolerance for them? Or do you see them and you cannot stand them? You cannot be at peace with them, or you cannot cooperate with them. Then we talk about the fourth level of peace, which is interpersonal peace. And this one we are looking at respect for other people, justice again, and tolerance and cooperation. So here let's look at it closer home and look at our neighborhoods. When we talk about interpersonal peace, how are you living with your neighbors? Are you the neighbor who puts on loud music when your neighbor's baby has just gone to sleep, and then you put on loud music? You know, your freedom, and then you say that you have freedom of expression. Peace demands that your freedom stops at the point when you infringe on somebody else's rights. So, in your neighborhood, when we talk about interpersonal peace, what are you doing about it? Are you the person who comes and parks your car behind your neighbor's car, and then you don't want to be called in the morning? Are you being a peaceful neighbor by doing that? Are you creating interpersonal peace within your neighborhood by the way you act? What can your neighbors say about you? Are you a peaceful neighbor, or are you considered that neighbor that ukihama, your neighbors rejoice? What kind of a neighbor are you? That is interpersonal peace. And then the fifth level of peace is the personal or inner peace. Now, we've talked about global peace, political peace, and all that. What about within yourself? Are you at peace with who you are? Are you aware of who you are as a person? Do you have self-respect, self-love, do you have self-love and awareness and respect for yourself? That is inner peace. So we look at it, if you look at it like 5 circles, the outer circle then becomes the global peace, which is outer. Then comes in political peace, which is from country to country. Social peace, which is now between different cultures, different people. Then there's interpersonal peace, which refers to your neighborhood, your smaller circle, your community. And then there's personal peace. Today, I'd like us to delve into inner peace, because for us to have global peace, then it must start with inner peace. So what is inner peace? Inner peace can be described as a psychological and physical calm despite a variety of challenges. Mark that you do not have to have a perfect situation for you to be peaceful. So as we said at the beginning, one of the other things peace is not the product of a perfect equation. You have a good car, a good house, a good family. That is not peace. It does not equals peace. So peace is more than that. And inner peace is something that most of us are grappling with in the world today. Philippians 4:6-7, I'll just read that verse. And it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." So, when we wake up in the morning, and we are talking about inner peace, just picture yourself. What is the first thing that goes through your mind when you wake up in the morning? So it's maybe 5 a.m., your alarm has gone off, or is it 5:30, your alarm has gone off? Do you snooze the alarm, or do you wake up? And then as you wake up, what are the thoughts that are going through your mind? What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Do you go straight to your phone and start looking through everything that everybody is saying on social media? And what does that do to your state of rest that you are in as you are sleeping? So I read somewhere that in the morning, or when we wake up every day, an average person makes about 35,000 decisions per day. So if you count all the decisions that you make in a day, you do about 35,000 of them. So from the moment you wake up, what is a decision you're making about your life? Or what is it that you're allowing to go internally? And that again influences the way you have peace within yourself. So what is it then that robs us of that peace, the inner peace, as human beings? Number one is the thoughts that we do have as human beings. We have what we call self-defeating thoughts. Self-defeating thoughts are those thoughts that make us think of ourselves in the worst form of ourselves. So you say, I'm too bad. I can't even be rescued from where I am. God can't fix me the way I am. I'm beyond repair. So when you think about yourself like that, then you rob yourself of the peace that God guarantees us as human beings, because God doesn't call those who are perfect. If we look in history, all those people he had called, Moses, be it Moses, Abraham, they all had a past that was tainted. They were not perfect. So those self-defeating thoughts that we usually describe ourselves in the negative are some of the things, or one of the things, that robs us of inner peace. Secondly, pressures from society. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1-8, it talks about there being time for everything. And the peace that comes from God, or knowing there are times for everything, there's a season and a time for everything, then brings about that peace, internal peace within us, from the pressures that we do get from society. For example, you're 30 years old, you're not married, your parents are asking you what's the problem and all that. That can rob you of inner peace. But understanding what Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 to 8 talks about having different seasons in life and God being the overall over time, then it gives us that peace. So inner peace can only come from God and not the things of this world. And peace is not in a thing. Peace is found in the person of Jesus Christ. And that is why when we talk about peace, inner peace, we are not talking about you getting it from the things of this world, but getting it from the person of Jesus Christ. We receive peace when we spend time in the presence of God. So it is not a plan, but in a man, and that man is Jesus Christ, who is also God. So how then do we get that inner peace? We get that inner peace by being content in whatever situation we are in. Paul in Philippians 4, 12 to 13 talks about being content in whatever situation. I know what it is to be in need, he says, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. So, are you at peace with yourself? Do you have that inner peace? Because once you have the inner peace is when you can be at peace with the society around you. So pause, take a moment, and ask yourself, what is it that is robbing me of inner peace? Because until I can be at peace internally, then I cannot be at peace with the society in which I'm living in. I cannot be at peace. When a family is not at peace, then the community is not at peace. And when the community is not at peace, then the whole world will not be at peace. So let us find that inner peace that only comes from knowing Jesus and having a relationship with Jesus Christ. And once we get that peace, then we are able to exude the same. We are able to become peacemakers in our society. In conclusion, I'd like to read John chapter 14, verse 27, which is a verse that Jesus left us. He said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give you as the world gives it. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." So even as we go into the election period, I urge all of us, first of all, to understand ourselves internally and have that inner peace. And that then will translate into external peace. And we have that external peace, then we are able to handle ourselves. Whether our candidate wins or not, we will be able to have what we call the social peace, or the peace with our neighbors who are of a different opinion. We will be able to have peace as a country, Kenya, if we accept what others, or we tolerate the choice of others. So let us all remain peaceful and accept the results that come out during the election. And let us also work on ourselves to get that inner peace, because that is when then we will be able to be at peace with others. God bless you.